Hey everybody. On the menu for today, we've got Project Foxblade Combat Demo version 0.1. Reading the game page here real quick. This is a small combat demo meant to provide an early look at the combat mechanics of Project Foxblade. Project Foxblade is an in-development action RPG themed after PSX/Saturn RPGs and inspired by late 90s anime. The game aims to provide a classic JRPG feel but with a modern fast-paced and action-oriented combat system. In this demo, you'll be pitted against unending waves of opponents called globs, against which you can try out the mechanics of movement, combat, and spellcasting. Try it out and see how many globs you can kill. Alright, it's got some credits here. If you want more information on the game, you can check out the link in the description. That's my description. It's got some controls listed. Looks like it does support the gamepad, thankfully. So let's give that a shot. Got the Xbox 360 control here. Got movement. X button is to dodge, roll while moving left and right, or guard while still. Right. A button is attack. Y button is cast selected spell. Left bumper, right bumper, cycle the spell deck left and right. Alright, so apparently not using the R and L triggers at this point. Hopefully they'll plan to use those for something, because those are generally the most comfortable ones to use with your fingers there. But let's go ahead and get rid of the overlay. Let's give this a shot. I have not seen anything past the screen. Check out the options here real quick. Looks like we've got some volume levels, video mode, composite. It's got this sort of CRT filter here, so we've got some different That's interesting. Alright, so there's a none. It looks like it's actually stretched on none, which is actually kind of unfortunate, I think. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. It might be nice to just kind of keep the aspect ratio and have like another option to keep the aspect ratio or stretch it or something if you're gonna stick with this kind of 4:3 looking thing. But I like how you have these different sorts of things. S video and this one looks about identical though. Can't really perceive any difference. Maybe very, very subtle. Kind of looks like this is a little sharper, but has like a tiny bit of noise, and this is kind of noiseless, but yeah, I don't know, I guess I'm gonna stick with like this one because this is a little rough on the eyes. And I'm not sure that I like how this stretches it, so let's stick with the S video, I suppose. And I think that's all for the options, so let's actually... Whoa, holy moly, that didn't take long. Alright, so we've got dodging, guard, which apparently you can't hold the guard, you have to like press it with timing or something. Okay, so there's a little bit of it. Can I pause this? No. Oh, that's unfortunate. It'd be nice to have, you know, a little room to breathe in a about escape key. No. There's no pause, so I can't really... Can't really pause the game to talk or anything. I think it was Y is this, and then... So yeah, not a lot of room to breathe, really. I was going to mention the... It's a little loud, actually. I don't know if that's just my volume. But I was going to mention that there's a little bit of a telegraph where they have like a little flash. In my opinion, it's not super clear. Especially with all... I mean, the animations are very blobby, and because the creatures themselves are blobby and kind of non-distinct. Nondescript, I guess is what I mean to say. So you kind of, it's sort of like you really have to look for it, those little flashes. I think it would be nice if it was a little more obvious. But that being said, I think we have just kind of dodging the guarding and then the attacking, and then B button I don't think does anything, is that right? Yeah, and I can't pause it, so I'm actually gonna Alt-Tab it. I think it's gonna keep playing out here. Just gonna look at the page real quick. Yeah, it doesn't mention anything for B. It's okay, so there's some unused buttons at this point, so perhaps there are other mechanics that are planned in the future or something. Maybe not, but we can speculate. In the meantime, let me see, has this been too loud? It's a little bit loud. I'll turn the capture down a little. Hopefully it's kind of reasonable. Alright, so we just have kind of 3 different actions, I think. It's just kind of attack, guard, and dodge, and then there's the sort of magic spells, so that's what we're going to be doing. So let's actually try for once. Let's see how that goes. Oh, wow, that hit me really fast. It's just a very brief flash. It's not super noticeable though. Especially because there's so many enemies at once. So your attention is divided a lot. Can I use... Alright, I'm going to try the D-pad here. It kind of feels a little better. Oh, they do turn around, so even if they telegraph, they'll still attack in the direction you are, even if you like dodge after they do the telegraph. Alright, so if you don't hit anything with your first attack, you can't keep comboing. So that's noteworthy, because if you're just like, if you're trying to mash the button trying to get another attack in, and say you miss the first one, then you can get punished pretty bad, because you have to wait so long for your attack to kind of cool down at that point. And with this sort of game, you do have to be careful about that as well, because of the sort of y-axis here that's in play. Can mean sometimes you might think you're going to hit someone when you don't, because of the difference in the y-axis. So something to consider and keep in mind, that if you're going to have it so that players are punished by missing their attack, then you know, just be aware of the fact that they might potentially get a little frustrated if they miss an attack that they thought that they should have hit, because of the way the perspective works and this sort of thing. So occasionally, yeah. Oh, can you not? Oh, okay, so that's odd. I didn't realize that until now. So you can dodge left and right, and you can dodge diagonally, but you can't dodge straight up or down, so you'll just do the guard. Which seems a little weird to me, because of the fact that this is a game where you can move in any direction. It's not like a side-scroller. I mean, it technically does scroll sideways, but you know what I mean. There's that y-axis that I was talking about. And the fact that you can do diagonals, I would expect to be able to dodge straight up and down also, so it's a little unintuitive in my opinion. Oh, I did press dodge. It seems like you don't get iframes while you're dodging, maybe? Like you can, yeah, that's what it appears to be. So you can dodge through enemies, but you can't dodge through attacks. Again, I was trying to dodge downwards. So yeah, that's a little weird. I don't really like that you can't dodge up and down. I seem to want to do that pretty regularly. Apart from that, it doesn't appear as of yet that the challenge as designed like gets any more difficult or anything like that. It seems to just kind of throw a few enemies at you over and over again. They don't change or anything. So in theory, I haven't really tried the spells and stuff yet, so I'll do that in a moment. But in theory, someone who's, you know, has a reasonable handle on the game could play the demo here pretty much infinitely, I think. Not particularly difficult overall. Do notice there is a little bit of a delay on the attack, so it's not very much, but it seems to be when you press it, there's like a tiny bit of a pre-delay before the attack comes out. Which is the sort of thing I tend to not like very much. Although in this case it's really slight, so I guess I can't control too much. I'm not sure if there's VSync. It might be VSync enabled also. Which is something I mean I don't complain about in a 2D game generally, but it's one of those things where sometimes people have VSync on and sometimes they don't, and it does add a tiny bit of an input lag, so I always kind of, when I'm trying to take note of things like that, that tends to affect things a lot of the time. So it does seem like your attack doesn't have a lot of, I don't know, what's the best way to describe it, sort of width on the y-axis, so they do have to be kind of pretty much in front of you. You could consider making that a little more forgiving, probably. It's not bad by any means, but it is a little particular. Oops. Alright, so we got this cure thing. It takes up my whole meter, I guess. So do I just kill dudes and I get the AP meter back, or...? Is there any way to get it back? I forgot about the guarding. It seems kind of unnecessary, at least with the current enemy, so... Oops, I went way too early. Whoops. So that's pretty hard with the timing. So yeah, I'll try to use the guard a little more and kind of see how that works. Oh, it's hard because there's so many enemies. And they all kind of start at different times. That makes it really hard. Because like if you... Like you can manage one at a time with good timing, but then like the rest of them it becomes quite a problem, especially with like all the hit stop in the game. When you do that, I gotta really get a handle on it here, because that affects the timing a lot. And yeah, if you get hit by one and then they all just kind of, the rest of them just like smack you subsequently, it's pretty rough. Okay, well I did press the button. I think I might have dodged accidentally that time, which is why I ate the attack, because it doesn't give you any iframes. That time I definitely did the block thing, the guard, but I don't know if it's because I got hit in the back first or something, but it didn't do it. I don't know, can you guard from behind yourself? Like, that's hard to test here. Oh gosh. No, I guess you can't guard from behind yourself, so that's odd to me. I would expect the guard to just kind of work from any direction. Seems like... I mean, just the nature of the game where enemies are just like surrounding you and attacking from every direction, it seems like pretty fiddly, the idea of having to turn around and guard, and the fact that you can't actually... I mean, you kind of can if you're really particular, but you're bound to, if you try and turn around and guard real quick, you're bound to do a dodge instead, so... I would definitely recommend considering making the dodge work in any... I mean, the guard work in any direction here. Because it's pretty rough. Yeah, see when you guard one of them successfully, and then another one of them like attacks you pretty much instantly. I don't know that it might be possible to guard them, but the timing seems pretty. It might not even be possible. I'm not sure at this point, but it seems pretty problematic. Like I said, that hit stun or the hit stop does also kind of throw a wrench in the general timing of it. Again, I can't guard behind myself. All right, let's try out these spell things here. Well. See, they don't really give me a lot of breathing room to try and pull this sort of thing off. Because there's just like a constant stream of them. Oh, it just shoots it in front of me. Okay. It might also be nice if I could change directions mid-combo. Because this is a game where enemies can surround you, that can mean that managing enemies from all directions can be a little tough if you're kind of stuck facing one direction while attacking. It's not really a way to turn around, so that could be very useful, especially if you're trying to like hit enemies out of their attack animation or something, to take advantage of that stun effect. Yeah, see, I'd like to turn around right there and hit the other guy that was about to hit me. Alright, let's try. Well, that's pretty strong. It does appear, I don't think it looks like there's a way to actually recharge your AP. I didn't actually check if the guard does anything in that regard. Timing is pretty particular on the guard. It's not bad necessarily, but it is a little challenging. Again, I would like to have a little bit better whoops, that was the wrong button. A little bit better telegraphing animations and stuff. And if these are meant to be like early enemies, you might consider making the telegraphing a little longer, so you have a little more time to respond to them. Especially considering how many of them. You do have to consider that also. Like, if you're just facing one enemy, you have like so much kind of attention to spare because you're so focused on the one enemy, and it's a lot easier to manage. But when there's 3 or 4 simultaneously or more, then that divides your attention. So things like the timings and the telegraphs and stuff becomes a lot harder to pay attention to and get right for everyone at the same time. So my AP is actually completely empty. I guess I was gonna... Well, that guy hit me in the back. Alright, so no AP for attacking. I mean, guarding. Okay, so you can attack the ones that aren't, like, aggroed. I noticed there was a yellow... Alright, that's when you do your third attack. There's a yellow hit damage numbers, I guess. Alright, so again, I can't pause. I'm just gonna let him kill me. I wanted to try out more of the magic, but there doesn't appear to be a way to get more AP, so let's do that. We got Cure, we got Fire and Thunder. Oh, that's all there is. Okay, well, Thunder appears to be the strongest. Apparently you don't have to aim it or anything, it just kills whatever's on the screen, so that's something. But yeah, I would recommend thinking about just adding in more little pauses here and there in the enemy behaviors. Give you a little more breathing room. Help you to be a little more strategic with like using the magic and stuff, which takes time, obviously. And considering the number of enemies, it'll just help make things more manageable without having to actually cut down on how many enemies there are. You can also think about, you know, adding ways to stun enemies or something. Maybe doing a guard successfully. You could even do that. Oh, pressing it too late. But yeah, I think I've probably pretty much seen everything there is. The general style of it I like. I think it could be, again, I wish I could pause it so I could kind of talk without being distracted, but I think with more polish it could be a lot of fun for an action RPG, so for sure it's definitely, even in its early state, it's feeling like it's pretty functional, so it could be a lot of fun for sure when it's finished. So definitely keep it up. It's got nice sound effects and everything, and pretty good artwork, so definitely cool. Would play a game like this for sure, so hopefully you get something useful out of this video, and let me know if you have any questions or whatever. I'll see you guys in the next video.